Be kind, for everyone that you meet is fighting a hard battle. Care for your psyche. Know thyself, for once we know ourselves, we may learn how to care for ourselves. Perhaps it was because that I was an 18-year-old college freshman who did not understand why he was being forced to take classical philosophy in his first semester of undergrad, but I did not pay much attention to Socrates then, nor have I admittedly given him much credence throughout the rest of my educational formation or ministerial career. This, apparently, has not fazed Socrates or his transcendence one iota. And the two quotes at the beginning have been lying in wait for the better part of almost 20 years, just waiting for the perfect moment to insert themselves and impart their profound wisdom just at the right moment when I desperately needed to hear them. The reality is that we gather today amidst a world overflowing with complex emotions. News cycles bombard us with negativity, social media amplifies division, and personal struggles can feel overwhelming. It is easy to get swept away in the current, leaving us feeling depleted and unsure where to turn. As Victor Hugo, the renowned French author, once said, music expresses that which cannot be put into words and that which cannot remain silent. Perhaps it is no coincidence that, like many of you, I find myself drawn to the familiar melodies of our gray hymnal, singing the living tradition in times of emotional turmoil. These hymns, while beautiful and a joy to sing, offer a space for solace and a wellspring of inspiration for the soul. Among my favorites is the Finlandia tune, a masterpiece by Finnish composer Jean Sibelius that was composed in 1899 and revised in 1900, all under the specter of increasing imperialism and censorship of the Finnish people by the Russian Empire. It was published secretly under a variety of different names so that the Russian authorities would not be able to easily identify it and prevent its dissemination to the greater public. Today, even though it is not their national anthem, although many have proposed that it should be, it is one of Finland's most beloved and important national songs. This melody forms the backbone of two cherished hymns in our hymnal. Number 159, This Is My Song, and number 318, We Would Be One. Interestingly, while sharing the same musical foundation, these hymns were written in different eras, addressing different situations. This Is My Song, penned in 1934 by Lloyd Stone, is a poem titled A Song of Peace. We Would Be One, written by the Reverend Samuel A. Wright, a predecessor of mine here at First UU Stockton, anticipated the 1958 merger of the American Unitarian Youth and the Universalist Youth Fellowship that would foreshadow the larger union of the Unitarian and Universalist churches 3 years later. Intriguingly, when sung consecutively, these hymns seem to hold a conversation across time. In This Is My Song, the narrator initially expresses a sense of national pride, viewing their homeland as the pinnacle of creation. However, the narrative takes a beautiful turn as the narrator recognizes the beauty and worth inherent in other lands and cultures. Is this not akin to our own UU journeys? We are raised on the foundational principle of inherent worth and dignity, yet it is a truth that unfolds in layers. There comes a moment, an epiphany, where we truly grasp the magnitude of this principle, realizing it extends far beyond our immediate surroundings. The narrator of We Would Be One celebrates this awakening, urging us to move beyond mere recognition to action. Love, the hymn reminds us, is the guiding force that propels us towards a more unified world. It calls upon us to search for that meaning which binds our hearts and points us on our way, and to pledge ourselves to greater service with love and justice. This resonates deeply with the proposed revision of Article 2 in our UUA bylaws. The emphasis on shared values and the spiritual discipline of love underscores our commitment to living out our faith in tangible ways. We are not a passive faith. We are called to be active participants in weaving a tapestry of justice and compassion. But how can we engage in this crucial work when our own emotional reserves are depleted? The very act of navigating a world fraught with challenges can leave us feeling drained and dispirited. This is where self-care becomes paramount. Just as a musician needs to tune their instrument before playing a beautiful melody, we too need to care for ourselves before engaging in the work of social justice. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the mindful practice of nourishing our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. It is the quiet morning spent reflecting, the invigorating walk in nature, the nourishing meal shared with loved ones. It is carving out space for activities that bring us joy, that replenish our energy, and that reconnect us with our sense of purpose. Think back to the Finlandia tune. Imagine each note as an act of self-care. Some notes may be strong and powerful, like a vigorous exercise routine. Others may be soft and gentle, like the quiet solace of meditation. There are playful notes, like spending time with friends, and introspective notes, like journaling our thoughts and feelings. The melody of self-care is unique to each of us, a harmonious blend of practices that nourish and revitalize our being. When we prioritize self-care, we become more resilient in the face of adversity. We become better equipped to handle the emotional storms that life throws our way. We become more present and more compassionate, not just toward ourselves, but towards those around us. Just as the Finlandia tune unites the distinct narratives of This Is My Song and We Would Be One, self-care serves as a bridge between our internal and external worlds. It allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level, fostering a sense of peace and clarity. From this place of inner peace, we can then reach outward, extending compassion and understanding to others. The world desperately needs our compassion, our activism, our voices raised in the fight for justice. But we cannot offer these gifts from a place of depletion. We need to be vessels overflowing with love, courage, and resilience. Self-care is the act of filling those vessels, ensuring we have the strength and clarity to engage in the transformative work that lies ahead. The proposed revisions of Article 2 in the UUA bylaws speak to this very notion. We are, quote, accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. This spiritual discipline requires intentionality. It necessitates nurturing ourselves in a way that allows us to embody those values in our actions and interactions. Furthermore, the revisions urge us to, quote, replace such barriers with ever-widening circles of solidarity and mutual respect. Building these circles begins with recognizing our shared humanity. It starts with acknowledging the inherent worth and dignity not just within ourselves, but with every person we encounter. Self-care provides us the perspective that we need that allows us to cultivate this sense of interconnectedness, fostering empathy and understanding that transcends differences. The path ahead will undoubtedly have its challenges. There will be moments of despair, times when the weight of the world feels overwhelming. But within these struggles, there is also immense opportunity. By prioritizing self-care, we unlock the potential for hope, resilience, and transformative action. Reflecting on the tune of Finlandia, my hope is that we can imagine this melody now as the anthem of our collective journey. Each note represents an act of self-care, a practice that nourishes our individual spirits. These individual notes then weave together, harmonizing into a powerful symphony of compassion, justice, and love. This is the music we are called to create, a melody that resonates with hope and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. So, my friends, let us tend to our gardens, both internal and external. Let us nurture our bodies, minds, and spirits. Let us find solace in the practices that bring us peace and joy. For in doing so, we become the vessels of change, the instruments of love, and the architects of a more just and compassionate world. May the melody of self-care guide us on our journey. May we find strength in unity and hope in the interconnectedness of all beings. And may it ever continue to be so. Blessed be. Amen. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Thank you all so much.